between you and Joe, you know, I feel like I have superhuman hearing because I feel like most hunters and guides, they've had guns go off around their head. They just can't hear that well, but I don't have that. So we're walking around this big patch of alders, and we go one way, the guide goes the other, and I'm filming Joe the whole time. And as we're walking, I can hear the bushes move, and I'm thinking, okay, a little scary, but Joe's going to notice it and it's going to make good film. And he just keeps walking. And I'm like, Joe. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I think it's right here. I mean, it was probably less than 10 yards away in the alders. And then Joe's like, I'm going to go in after it. And that was tough for me too, because I'm like, trying to film it, not trying to die. It was a little tense.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Fair Chase podcast. We are recording this on October 2. So in Michigan, that means we're 2 days into our deer season. And Joe's got one buck down and I've got no bucks down. So I'm not bitter. I'm excited for him. But I wish I shot a buck. I'm not going to lie. I've got Jordan here, our cameraman. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, I have not shot a buck either.
You've shot more animals in the last month than I have.
Fair enough.
And that's why I wanted to bring you on. So, if for everybody listening, last week we talked to Joe, talked his bear hunt and some of the hunts that I was on, and just kind of caught up on his bear hunt, recording it, turning it into a film was Jordan. The film's still coming out, should be fairly soon released, but Jordan also got a unique experience out there. So I figured we'd talk about that today.
Yeah, film's coming out this month sometime. We'll have it done. Yeah, it's all coming together. It just takes a little bit of time.
Have you been editing it lately?
Yeah, that's like all I've been doing. So
how's it looking?
I think it looks good. So it's everyone's so different, Every time I shoot something, I'm like, this is gonna go so quick. And like the edits just come together. And then I get into it and it's like, it's just, you're putting together a puzzle that doesn't really have a wrong way of going together. So yeah, it's tough, but it's come together. I think it looks good. We had some crazy abnormal weather where we had a ton of sun. And so finding all these shots that are a little bit overexposed because we're just getting full sun, that scares me down a little bit, but it was crazy. And that kind of led into the whole story of what we're talking about is, we had exceptionally good weather. So we were extremely productive on that hunt.
You like a lot of times in Alaska, you're limited by the weather because you can have all these great plans and everything else, and it could be raining for 3 days on end.
Yeah, I mean, when we showed up, we were getting chartered out, and we had a weather delay for about 6 hours, and we get to the outfit, and it's beautiful, sunny, extremely sunny, and so right away, Joe, he spots up 3 different bears, from pretty much the landing strip. And that's part of the story that I'm kind of working through right now in the edit. And he's like, well, let's get after that black bear right away and then knock that out. We have 9 days for grizzly. So that's what we're doing.
When you didn't have to wait after you flew. You could hunt the same day you flew for this, right?
We looked it up, and if it was over bait, I think was the exception. We could.
Okay.
But since it wasn't over bait, we had to wait 24 hours. And I thought I had a pretty good talking head with Joe and the guide with that. I probably will leave that part out a little bit, just to kind of move the story along. But yeah, we had to spend the day pretty much not hunting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we glassed them up, and the guide was like, I saw those bears 4 days ago, so they're not really moving. Yeah. So we had a lot of confidence that we could go back there right away.
Yeah. And Joe shot his first black bear on day one, like the first hunting day.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we flew in day 0, and then first hunting day. Yeah, we went out. I mean, it was honestly, maybe it was like right around noon, midday is when he shot it. That was crazy. I mean, they were basically in the same spot. He picked out a good one that he liked from the group, and we just went after it. And I'm sure he told the whole story. But yeah, he put a shot at it, hit it, moved in some alders, moved up on it, put like a 550-yard shot out on it, crushed it, and we went after it again. So, but yeah, By midday, day one, he had half his hunt done.
What happened in the Alders?
Man, that was a little scary. I'm not gonna lie.
OnX is the title sponsor of our podcast here at the Fair Chase, and it's a must-have app for all of us who love to explore the outdoors. Whether you're hunting or hiking or fly fishing, OnX gives you detailed, accurate maps right at your fingertips. With property boundaries, topographical features, and trail data, you'll always know where you are and where you're headed. You'll also likely be able to figure out where that big buck is headed to. Plus, their offline maps mean you're covered even in the most remote locations. OnX is the ultimate tool for outdoor navigation, making every adventure safer and more enjoyable. Download OnX today and explore with confidence.
I don't know if he talked. I didn't listen to his.
You didn't say anything about the. Oh, I forgot about it. I should have brought it up. So you're gonna have to tell the story.
It's funny, man. It's between you and Joe. You know, I feel like I have superhuman hearing because I feel like most hunters and guides, they've had guns go off around their head their lives, and it's like they just can't hear that well. But I don't have that. So we're walking around this big patch of alders, and it's over your head, and we're just walking around the edge, and we go one way, the guide goes the other, and I'm filming Joe the whole time. And as we're walking, I can hear the bushes move, and I'm thinking, okay, a little scary, but Joe's going to notice it and it's going to make good film. And he just keeps walking. And I'm like, Joe, like alders, And he's like, what? And I'm like, I think it's right here. But I'm trying to get, a genuine reaction so I can use it in the film, but also, not become a character in the story. And then he's like, hey, Spencer, are you in the alders? And you can hear Spencer like way in the distance, like a cartoon. He's like, no. Or like, and I'm like, it's right here. And it was probably less than 10 yards away in the alders, totally hurt and just trying to hide. It was in the deepest part of it. And then Joe's like, I'm going to go in after it. And that was tough for me too, because I'm like, trying to film it, not trying to die. But I can't get ahead of Joe, so I'm just filming kind of the back of his head as he's swimming through them. And he ends up shooting it again with his rifle, which is the right call. And then he puts one in with the pistol. So then it dies in the middle of that alder patch. Just drag it out. It was a little tense. Well, it's black bear. It's not a grizzly bear. I don't think he would have done it with a grizzly bear, but yeah, that was
it's still hurt. And, people in my circle have had interesting experiences in similar situations with black bears. So they'll get hurt and they'll go into the swamp or the alders or whatever, and they will come out hot.
Yeah.
Definitely will come out hot.
Yeah. So, that was a cool way to start it. And like I said, very productive. By midday, it was done. The bear was cut up and we were hiking it out. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Good way to start. So, you guys have service the whole time. So, you'll get end of the day updates from you. It wasn't service. It was Starlink, right? And Starlink.
Yeah.
And, so we'll get updates and I'm like, wow, day one, I wonder how long Grizzly is going to take. And like, sure enough, like, was it the next day you guys shot the Grizzly?
Yeah, literally. We packed out the black bear and they processed all the meat right away and got the hide cleaned up and got salt on it. And we went out. We didn't take any breaks. We went out directly to the big glassy knob, look for grizzlies, didn't turn up anything. And the next day our guide was like, well, we'll bomb up towards their sheep camp where Joe did that doll hunt. And he's like, we normally get more grizzlies that way. So we drove up there and I'm sure Joe told the whole story. We ran across a really unique situation of a black bear and a grizzly bear together.
Getting hunted. The black bear getting hunted.
Yeah. And I joked to them afterwards. I was like, imagine you didn't shoot that black bear on day one and we came across that. Like, would you shoot both? Hey, from a one position, I was like, that'd be a pretty crazy film.
That would be wild. It's quick. You gotta be quick with your shots on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. That black bear was, once we shot the grizzly, that black bear was cruising. So
was he suppressed?
Yeah.
So that you were, I thought so. I didn't remember to look. Yeah. Yeah. So, end of day 2 for hunting, day 3 total that you're there and you're letting us know like, hey, we've got 6 more days and our tags are filled. So we're like, well, would you want to get a tag? And so that's what we did.
Yeah, so basically what you just said, we had a ton of extra time, which is really abnormal. And we knew going in that there was no chance we were going to fly out early. You know, we didn't, even if we could, we wouldn't want to. Because like we're in that prime spot for everything, for hunting, for filming, for photo. You know, I was like, in my mind, let's just spend a bunch of time making content for brands, you know.
Yeah.
And we were talking around the idea of Joe buy another tag, and then Spencer was like, you know, well, Jordan could buy a tag. He's like, if he buys a license, you know, we have Starlink there. So he's like, go online, buy a license. And he's like, I'm a tag vendor. I'll sell you a tag. And we ended up doing that. And it was, I was all on board. Even for filming it, you know, I'm never on camera,
Right.
but I was like, let's do it. That'd be a really cool way to kind of cap off the film. You know, we had this whole productive story of 2 days of intense hunting that worked out great. And then we'll just throw on a little epilogue of the camera guy shooting a black bear. And yeah, so the story of that, we bought that tag, we bought the tags. And then that night went out back to that glassy knob. Joe spotted.
Which one?
Like, so there's in the film, you kind of see it. There's one big glassy knob that kind of is like in the middle, and you can see a ton of land. And that's kind of their go-to spot, it looks like. And that's where we had, you could see all the bears that we spotted from the airstrip, the roadhouse right away.
Mhm.
So we went back there, and Joe and the guy, they spot one of the black bears that was left from the first 3 that Joe had seen.
Yeah.
But it was getting late, so we're like, all right, whatever, we'll table it. And we went back in the morning, and I grabbed Joe's spotter, and I was like, I kind of want to be the one to get this, you know, get it on glass right away. And so I grabbed his spotter, spotted it up right away, and we just didn't waste any time. We're like, that's the one, you know. I had never killed anything up until that point. And so I was like, let's just go, you know. No reason to be picky about anything. I wasn't looking for anything crazy. We just wanted a decent sized bear. So we saw it, bombed after it. It was way up at the top of the mountains there, which was kind of cool. And the way we were hunting there is we had 6-wheelers. And so we were just cruising across the tundra on them.
The one video you got of you guys crossing the creek is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I got a hand. So what I ended up doing is I ended up putting my main camera down and then filming everything on a GoPro. Essentially, it was a DJI version of it. And so I have some cool footage of us. They started picking up in some rain. So we were getting a lot of, you know, muddy, you know, traversing with the 6-wheelers.
Yeah.
So that stuff is cool. I'm excited to put that little piece together. But yeah, we bombed up there with 6-wheelers as far as we could and just started hiking up after it. And I mean, it was basically like Joe's hunt. So
Yeah.
really cool. There was a lot of challenge, you know, physically just to get to the spot. But I mean, there really wasn't any curveballs right away. They were like, there's a little cutout in the mountain. They're like, we want to get there. It will probably be under 500 yards to the bear. And so we'll get there and find a spot to shoot and just make it happen. And
This episode is brought to you by 2O Gear, innovators in technical hunting clothing. 2O is a newer company. It's based right here in Michigan. And whether you're hunting elk in the mountains or chasing antelope in the plains or traipsing through swamps after that ruddy buck, 2O has you covered with premium jackets and pants, merino wool layers, everything you could possibly need to stay comfortable in the woods. Their products are engineered for functionality and durability, ensuring you stay protected in any conditions. Plus, their camo is really effective. We're big fans. So don't take our word for it, though. Go to 2ogear.com and check it out.
at that point,
And you've never hunted, and you've been on hunts, you've never hunted yourself.
yeah, never.
Clarify that. Like, that's,
Yeah, never. You know, I've only been in the hunting space for 3 years. So I never hunted anything before. Never even been on hunts outside of filming. So this was entirely new, you know. But I feel like I had seen enough where I was like, I feel confident. And actually, I ended up shooting Joe's grizzly bear carcass the day before because I was like, if I end up shooting something, I want to make sure I can at least hit a decent target at 400 yards.
yeah,
So I ended up shooting his carcass and smoked it. It wasn't moving.
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, we get up to that point, and
He's shooting a 300 PRC for anybody wondering. That's the what that was what he had, right? The 300 PRC.
that sounded right.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
I'm not,
That's his go-to.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get up there and it was like, I mean, it was a dream first hunt for anybody. I mean, it was incredibly picturesque, at the top of the mountain. Like that bear was way up there, mowing on blueberries. And our guide is like, hey, I'm not rushing you, but like, the thermals are going to shift here. Like he's going to catch wind of us soon. So, we got to kind of move on it. I told Joe, I was like, hey man, just the best you can, get me set up, dial the scope to where we need it to be. And they had already told me where to shoot. And I only had a couple of thoughts in my head. And it was basically reload once I shoot and stay on it for a follow-up shot.
Yeah.
And man, it worked out, to a T, where that thing gave me just enough time to stop. And I took a great shot, stayed on it, reloaded, did a follow-up shot, but that thing was dead before the second shot went out there, basically.
How far was that total shot?
It was 350.
350.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good poke. I mean, first of all, like what a unique thing to be in Alaska for your first hunt, shooting a black bear in like one of the more beautiful places that you can go. 350 yards, like, like it's just not a lot of people. Mine was a button buck behind the outhouse in Big Rapids back when we had an outhouse out there, a little different.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what the guide said right away. He was like, how many people can say that their first kill ever was a black bear in Alaska? And that just, I was blown away. I didn't get like crazy emotional, but it just, there was a lot of people that were, making it possible for me to do that. And so there was a lot of gratitude, and it was incredibly cool. And now like we had just talked about it the other day, the fact that, it was like you're there with it for a moment and then it all gets taken away. And now we're just waiting for it to get processed and come back. And I'm like,
yeah, I know. That's the worst.
I'm like, man, I really like, I've never really felt that draw to like, have like a mount in my house or have a, a cape or anything like that, or any sort of animal thing. But now I'm like, man, I want that fur back. Like I want to see it, and like I want to feel it. I want to tell people about it. I want to show people. So I get it to an extent now. Like it definitely is a draw.
It is weird. Like I'll sit in my man room, or once I hang up some deer in here, I'll sit and look at them too. But you just look at them a lot, and that's really it. I just look and daydream. but it's like, because there's a lot attached to that, bear hide or skull. Or are you getting the skull too?
Yeah.
Nice. Skull is sweet. The skulls are cool looking.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see that, and I'm so excited to see that fur when it actually comes back.
Yeah.
So, like, like, daughter wants to see it. People want to see it. Like,
it takes forever.
Yeah, man. Like, it takes forever, and it seems like it's pretty expensive.
It's very expensive, and you're doing the cheapest thing you can do with it, and it's freaking expensive.
Yeah. And I talked to Joe about it. I was like, man, that's a lot of money. He's like, well, imagine how much I'm spending. I got 3 of them. And I'm like, that's a good point.
I'm broke.
Yeah.
Chase is not going to college. He's going to go into the workforce directly out of 6th grade. So, yeah, I'm still waiting on my mountain lion that we went on. And that was December.
Yeah.
And that one's a little bit more of a rug. They have like a head in it. But my bison is still gone, and that was January.
What are you doing with the bison again? Oh, you were going to do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, we're just gonna tan it, and I think Laura's gonna try to make it into stuff. Like, I'm getting mittens, like the big kind that go up to here, like those. I want mittens, and she was talking about doing a hat, so that kind of thing. But
The essential.
it takes a while. They gotta like scrape it and tan. I started to mess around with that once, and because Laura has always been my wife, Laura, for people listening, but she's wanted to do tan, so we kind of got started down that path, and you realize what a mess it makes, and like all the crap you need for it. And then she's been really, and she still insists on that she's going to do it, is like rebuilding skeletons of animals. So like, shoot a turkey, she wants me to keep the whole thing so she can clean off all the bones and then like reconstruct it like they do at the museum. It turns out people do that. There's a guy that does it. And so I found him, he publishes the like self-published, binded books that he makes. And he'll do one for like, he's got ones for birds. He's got one for whales. If you find like a whale washed up, he can show you, like, you follow his directions to rebuild the skeleton, stuff like that. But it's a lot of work. Those guys, I mean, it is art.
Yeah, let me tell you, if you're reconstructing a whale, you probably have the money to have somebody do that for you.
Yeah, you might have a guy.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd be allowed to, but I don't know. Hunters, when you're gearing up in the field or at home, you need tools as tough as you are. Tekton, a family-owned company from Grand Rapids, Michigan, makes hand tools with classic design and top-notch function. Perfect for pros and weekend warriors. Their sockets, ratchets, wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers, and organization systems are built to last. Tekton's growing, and it's hiring for roles in manufacturing, engineering, software, marketing, and more. Check out tekton.com to shop tools or apply.
Dude, funny story. So when we were flying out with that charter, we had that weather delay for a couple hours. So we're hanging out just in their small little lobby. And I'm looking at their desk. And I'm like, man, this is like a really weird looking piece of wood that the desk is made out of. And I ended up talking to the owner. And I was like, hey, man, like, is this a bone? He's like, yeah, it's a jawbone for a humpback whale.
No, and made it into a desk?
It was huge. He was
Cool.
like, we had seen it like on the shore and pretty much watching it decompose for years. He's like, I made the right calls to a biologist to make sure I could get it. And he's like, I went over there and got it.
Sweet.
It was cool.
I want that.
It looked like a humongous, like, mammoth tusk. It was
Really?
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
I feel like hunters would make great, like, they would appreciate whale watching.
Yeah.
Like, you can't hunt them, though. I would love to be, how cool would it be to go hunt for a whale, like with a harpoon and stuff? That'd be cool. But it's super fun. And once you see a whale, it's like, I would love a whale jaw, in my house. That would be pretty sweet.
I agree.
So did you guys eat? You ate some of the bears out there?
No, we didn't. So, they had bear from other hunts that we were eating.
Oh, sure.
And so it was like, it wasn't one of those things where it was like, immediately like throw the tenderloins on the fire.
Yeah, right.
It was basically, we processed it all, froze it, and he had it all dialed in. We had a ton of meat, all portioned out for us and everything. So we were eating bear and breakfast sausage pretty much. We had it like 3 times. So, but yeah, we didn't really eat much. Joe took part of the grizzly back. Curious what he's going to end up doing with that. They talk about that.
He mentioned it to me. I don't know that we talked about it on here.
Yeah. So, curious how that's going to go.
I'm quite curious to see. I've not talked to many people. I don't know that I've talked to anybody that's ever eaten, or at least ever told me about eating a grizzly. Yeah, I'm curious to see it, but that's common for camps, for maybe people listening. Like, for example, like when we went on the moose hunt, we get there and they're like, this is sheep or goat. It's one or the other. They just have like camp meat from other hunters that they leave behind. Like when we left, we couldn't get 1/4 in the freezer that we brought. So we left a lot with the outfitter who, either ate it himself or shares it with the camp. It's just kind of how they do up there.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. I mean, especially getting meat out to places like that, seems like it's a lot of work. So if you can eat kind of the mystery meat from previous hunts, just do that.
Red. That's all it's red meat. Did you guys have any grouse out there?
No, we saw ptarmigan.
Oh, cool.
I think that was pretty much it. Saw a lot of porcupine.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you eat one?
We did not. We saw some dead ones, but we did not eat any ourselves.
Did you see that video I sent you guys from the UP when I was up bear hunting? There's that in the field, there's a dead porcupine, and I'm driving by, and I'm like, oh, it's like, and I was just there, so it was like a fresh dead porcupine. Like I just had driven by, and I come around and like, what's that thing behind it? And it's just a cat just eating it, eating this freshly dead. And he looks at me like straight in the hairy eyeball. I'm like, not messing with that cat, because I don't know how he got that porcupine down, but like if he can take down a porcupine, like his odds of taking me down are a lot higher, than a normal cat.
Yeah, so those are pretty nasty.
Yeah. So, okay. So you've got it dropped off. You got your skull being, is it the same place doing everything?
No, since, I told Joe, came in, like, walking me through, like, I'm a first grader. And he was like, just have him tan the hide. And that way, if you want to rug it later, you can. But he was like, don't do like a shoulder mount or anything. And then he's like, just have him send the skull with me. And so they called me the other day and they were like, what do you want done with it? And pretty much just said that. I said, add that to Joe Griffin's. Yeah, IF stuff to his dad. And that's what they ended up doing. So he's going to send it to his guy and whatever that costs. But yeah, that's super pumped to see that.
If I was a taxidermist, I'd do a punch card system. Like if I taxidermy 10 of your animals, the 11th is free, something like that.
That makes sense.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people should do stuff like that.
Yeah.
The old way.
Very attractive. I want a punch card, And it'd be kind of like a point of pride, like, how good of an honor I am. Like, check out my punch card. Like, see all those right there? Trophies. Every single one of them. Yeah, that's cool. A bear skull is especially tricky to like clean. It's a greasy clean. And so it takes a lot more work.
Yeah, that's funny too. My bear was incredibly greasy. And like we didn't understand why. Like it was funny, like Joe's bear, I don't know if you mentioned it, but like he had birdshot in it.
Yeah. He didn't mention it on the podcast. He actually talk about that.
Yeah, so it was super strange. Like there was a couple things that were just odd about it. We couldn't really figure out. I feel like it only had one nut too.
And some of the best guys I know only have one nut. So
well, his goat only had one nut too. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Does Joe only have one nut?
I don't know. He has. It must be like ESP between the beautiful. I don't know. But yeah, we were cutting it up or when they were processing the meat out there, they were handing it to me and I was putting it in a pile and I was like, oh man, there's shot on this, like right in the skin. They're like, what? And we look, there's bird shots kind of through it. And then when he was processing it back at the roadhouse, we were finding more.
Really?
So it was like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like Joe said, he was a problem bear for somebody. And his best guess was the nearest village that was like, 40 miles away. Maybe it was just getting his stuff and it got shot at and then ran all the way out here. So
that's wild.
But yeah, and then we were cutting on mine and it was like, the guy was like, man, this one is like incredibly greasy. Like it was wild. The whole place was like a ice rink afterwards because there was just oil everywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did you guys take any of all that white gold fat with you?
No, we did not.
Good. You're curing balding. They do. That was the age-old thing. In the olden days, you'd put it on your dome and make the hair grow back because bears are hairy.
Yeah, I heard a bunch of things like that where I heard that, and then we heard from an Uber driver that bear pancreas or something, some part of the bear and the innards they eat to cure cancer. And I don't know what that was.
It sounds like something you'd get from like a market in China, like powdered antler and bear pancreas will give you a huge erection.
Oh, Joe would know that story better. He was the one talking to the guy about it. I could not follow what he was saying. But some part of the bear that you have to kill the bear to get to is supposed to cure something. But in the end of his story, it did not work out. So I don't.
So, yeah.
I don't know. It's not going to be my go-to remedy.
No, I'll just go to the hospital. Hunters, listen up. Latitude Outdoors builds gear for the mobile hunter. Their saddle hunting systems are designed to cut weight, not performance, so you can cover more ground and set up fast, wherever the hunt takes you. From dense hardwoods to open ridges, their mobile-focused gear keeps you efficient and adaptable. Check out their full range at latitudeoutdoors.com. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and the film comes out soon. Like, it's actually not far away.
Yeah, it's really not. So yeah, it's definitely I'm just chugging through it. It is. I mean, man, anybody that's done a hunt film, like there's just a lot of work that goes into it. So, and I don't know if it's better to have a really productive short hunt or one that you have, you know, that goes 10 days. I don't know. So
We've tried both of them, and they're both they've both been. We've had we've had a couple 2-dayers, and we've had a long ones. And you know what? The you shooting your first bear was the easiest part of the whole deal. You know,
totally agree. I mean, that was with Joe, with both of his kills, there was a lot of filming around it, you know,
Right.
where the first one was, you know, we're kind of circling the alder. So I got like an hour of footage from that kill. And then I got an hour of footage from the grizzly. So it's like trying to trim that down and tell the right story with it is a tough thing to do.
Yeah, and it's like if you haven't ever thought about making a film, you don't realize how much extra stuff you need, because it's not like you could just film yourself out to walking to the glassing spot, film, go shoot a bear, film your walk back, and that all together makes a film. Like, there's setup shots, there's different angles, there's, hey, walk back and do that again, you know. And then after you've taken all these shots, which you'll use some of them, but most of them you won't, you got to get back. You have to comb through them all and place them in the right spot to show a progression in the story. So it's not like, it's just so complicated. It's like you said, it's like a puzzle where there's not really, they all fit, the pieces all can fit together. It's just like, should they fit together, you know? And that's a super hard thing to figure out.
Yeah, I've tried to really narrow down just explaining how hunting films work in the edit. And that's my best description is, yeah, it's a puzzle that there is no right way of doing it. And so, yeah, you can do it in a ton of different creative ways. And that's a hard, daunting part of it all too. You know, like there's no right way and there's really no wrong way. Like there's really no playbook for it. So,
Well, you get to it where it's like, all right, you're finally home after, you know, days of travel and a week and a half of living out there. You have, everybody knows that you got one and is excited to see how the story went. And so that's your internal team. That's just me wanting to see it. On top of that, we bring partners in who are great. All of the partners who are on this film, everybody will see, and they've been super supportive. But, you know, they also are like, you know, they want to see some stuff too. And so you know, I just always think of you getting home, like pushing the button on your computer and just like staring at like stuff and like having to do something with it. And that's a daunting thing.
yeah, man, it is, there's a ton to look at. And so it's just most of the time, like I just have to get started and get moving on it. Otherwise, like if I could do these like one-off things of, you know, like I need to give us, you know, a couple clips to make a reel, you know, that just sets me back a day. So best practice is just to cruise through it and just get it done.
Which is what you're doing right now.
Which is what I'm doing. Yeah. And that's odd. I had a moment there where I thought I lost half of the grizzly hunt, and because I had organized everything, have it all backed up on drives, and I'm editing through it, all of a sudden I have this big skip in time where like we're glassing, and then all of a sudden he's like on the gun. I'm like, oh shoot. And I'm looking around, I'm like, did I lose like a whole card's worth of footage? And for whatever reason, it was lower in the editing program. It was like kind of hidden.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
But I was like, I went through a moment where I was like, holy crap. Like, I'm
bad.
Yeah.
It's hard to redo that. It happens. That kind of thing happens.
Yeah, I've had one corrupted card my whole career. So, and it was on the moose hunt, actually.
Was it on our moose hunt?
It was on your moose hunt, yeah.
I don't remember that.
I never told you about it.
That would have freaked me out. Is that why you're sparing me emotional pain?
It was one of the GoPro cards had corrupted. So I
Oh, yeah.
a bunch of time-lapse stuff, but that was pretty much it.
Actually, I feel like I do remember something about that. Because remember well, maybe that was not. Maybe I'm thinking of when you put it out and saw the bear. Maybe my stories are running together.
Maybe.
But yeah, that GoPro was just bad luck all around, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, no, the actually, so camera stuff, yeah, I'm really excited to show off the GoPro on the outside of the airplane. That
Finally.
sequence, yeah, man, that'll be cool. That was a lot of messing around to make sure that worked. But actually, that whole weather delay worked out great because we were sitting there and I was talking to ladies at the desk. I'm like, is there anybody here who like would allow this? And they're like, well, the owner is right in his office. Go talk to him. So went in there and I explained, I was like, I got this mount I can put on the outside of the airplane wing. And he was like, yeah, let me see it. Let's do it. So he was super cool. And actually it was funny. It was a really small world, you know, we're way out there in Alaska. And I'm talking to him and I'm like, I was trying to get this tested on an airport in Ionia, Michigan. You know, it's a little Christian airport that does missionary pilot stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, SMAT. And I was like, yeah, it is. He's like, I got a couple pilots that train there. And I'm like, that's really wild. So
That is wild.
yeah, it worked out great. And yeah, the shots from that are really, really cool.
I've never been on a hunt with you where you haven't tried to attach a GoPro to something unique.
Yeah.
The snowmobile, plane, boat, dogs.
Yeah, I know. I wish I would have done the dog one.
I do too. I was just talking to the guy the guy that I ran dogs with in the UP, and I was telling him I was like, we wanted to hook this GoPro up to the dog, and he would have been the guy in the UP is down. And I think I talked him into running bobcats at some point this year, so we can throw one on a bobcat dog and see what they see in the northern Michigan at some point.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. So
Yeah,
I should definitely do that.
yeah, super fun. Well, I want you to get back to editing. You're on a time crunch. But wanted you to come on and talk a little bit about the film, hunting, your end of the story. It's nice to kind of split it up between kind of two different chapters between you and Joe. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more detail coming out in the film, but appreciate you coming on and just sharing that. You've come a long way in a short amount of time.
Yeah, man. That was, again, really grateful. I mean, for everything you guys did to make that happen. That was super cool.
Super cool, and so glad we got footage of it. So our concern was Joe was going to blow it as the cameraman, put it on reverse or just looking at his face the whole time, or
yeah, it started to rain that day, so I told Joe, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna put my camera away. I was like, I got the GoPro, it's got audio on it, so I was like, we can just use that. And he's like, okay, if you're sure. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to break my camera for this,
filming you. Yeah.
So that's my goal now, is to not break any gear on a hunt.
That's an honorable goal.
Yeah, so much broken stuff, and this is the first hunt I actually had insurance. So
you did.
I did. I finally pulled the trigger. I found a pretty good company that offers it. So
I'm glad to hear that. Every time we go, and this is actually the one time we've gone where we haven't talked about insurance ahead of time. I think about it the whole trip. Because, there's been times where, what if I bump into him, or I've, almost stepped back on it, or I don't know, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, I'm going to break his camera, and now, that's not cheap, as we know, from the first time we tried to film stuff.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not, I'm not, hard on gear, but I do not like baby gear at all. And I leave my camera on the ground in precarious spots all the time.
Yes.
And I just was funny, too. We had all that extra time, and so we were buzzing around to where he had shot his grizzly. We were looking for more, and we ended up fishing at this lake, and the guide we were with, he spots this really big shed, and immediately, we had been talking about sheds and finding moose sheds the whole time, and he's like, oh, there's a nice one, and it's just in the dirt. And I'm like, dude, cool, and right away I'm like, that means the other one's got to be around here somewhere. So I set down my camera, all my stuff, and I just go tearing off through the Alder sucker for it. And then it was like 20 minutes later, I'm like, dang, dude, like, I don't know where I put my camera, and it's black and it's just in the bottom of some bushes now. And luckily Joe had the foresight to grab it and put it on the 6-wheeler.
I literally did that yesterday with my bow. I'm out hunting and I'm like, I get down. I had to poop, if I'm being totally honest. And I'm like, all right, take care of business. I'm like, I'm down anyways. It's early in the season. I'm in kind of a new spot. I'm just going to take like a cruise around where I think maybe deer are moving through. And so I'm like, I'll stop, I'll look, you investigate. I set my bow down and then I investigate. I just keep going. Never picked my bow back up because I left some stuff at the tree and I probably walked a mile around, or, total. So I'm like, it's been a ways. Thankfully, it was right at the end. But I had a moment where I'm like, I have to go retrace my steps. I don't really it's not easy to find stuff in the woods that you just set. Thankfully I found it, but I'm like, man, I would feel like a huge fool if I had to be like, hey, I got to get a new bow. I lost mine.
You would make somebody's day, though.
Somebody would be like, yeah, exactly. Even Steven.
Yeah.
It's like, Jerry Seinfeld, you lose a bow, you go out later and you find another one, that's, yeah. All right. Well, get back to it. Everybody, we'll be releasing more about this film coming up fairly soon. We have listener hunting stories that we're going to be having a string of those, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Excited for that because there's a lot of good stories that we've been sent so far. Excited to share them, so check it out. If you haven't, go to YouTube and subscribe to us. And actually, this one will be on WTA, Worldwide Trophy Adventures. So check them out, subscribe to them too, and we will see you next week. Thanks.